time in this room. It's a special opportunity for us to be a learning community with a whole variety of levels of experience, from nearly beginners right through to incredibly experienced, from very short to very tall. So it's great to have Jeff here with us for this couple of weeks. And in order to facilitate him getting to know you and you getting to know each other, please make sure as much as possible you wear your name tag. Everybody has one, I hope. There's still a few hanging on the rack on the stairs there. We'll encourage you to remember to take them off before you go out into the world, and then to put them back on again when you come in. There will be some logistical issues we need to pay attention to, such as making sure all the bags and stuff are at the back of the room, that you only have what you really essentially need with you, because there's lots of stuff, especially once the tables are up.
Yes.
Let's play.
All right. I'll just sit here for a moment. Come gather around for just a moment, and then we'll begin with the ATM. The ATM will involve the table. So we'll have to put up with the noise upstairs, obviously. So in 1983, after I graduated from training with Moshe in Amherst, I opened my practice, and for whatever reason, my practice went very fast. I had a full practice almost immediately. And I'm not going into very many details about that, other than the fact that every single day when I finished work, it was like I had a knife in my back. It's like someone had stuck a knife under my left scapula. And I worked that way for a period of time, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, before I heard from Jerry Carson, my friend Jerry, that in in San Francisco, Moshe said, I can lift someone's head without changing the tone in my arms. Can you imagine that? Can you even begin to imagine the organization it would take to lift someone's head without changing the tone in your arms? So that's what we're going to explore this week. It's very clear and it's very obvious that as practitioners, we become the environment in which a person experiences themselves. And the clarity with which we support ourselves is reflected into the experience of the person who's receiving the lesson. And it's absolutely obvious that if my support isn't clear, isn't precise, isn't specific, then the person will have to maintain their own support. That's clear? Yeah, it's absolutely clear. Come here for a moment. Just stand right there. Just turn around. Okay, that's good. So if I give her that push, what did she do? How come oh, look, I push her. Oh, there she came back. How come? Whoop, whoop. Thank you. That's all we needed. In other words, whether she wants it or not, orientation is crucial to her for self-preservation and for her actual ability to maintain her ability to know where she is in space. It has a priority in the nervous system. And whether she wants it or not, she will organize herself to stabilize herself. And if she's unstable, or she's made unstable in any way, she will seek stability. Yeah? So if I'm working with someone and I'm not stable, then it's reflected to the person that I'm working with. And they must maintain their own stability. And the way that they maintain their stability is through an increase of their own muscle tonus. Right? Now, you guys have been studying these things for 2 years, and so we're going to begin to bring what's been from the floor. That's not true. You've been bringing it from the floor all along, but oftentimes it's the awareness through movement lessons. The principles of the lessons get left on the floor when it comes to actually knowing how to bring the activities of the lessons into the way that we function with other people. So this is what we'll study. Okay. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'll try to do my best for sure I'll come around and I'll work with every one of you at some point in time that I'm here. I hope to, I wish I had a better memory for names, but it doesn't always, it doesn't always work out so well for me. So, shall we begin? Okay, please go and stand. Here, I'll take this table out of the way. You can use this table. I just need a stool or a chair to sit on. Sit over here. All right, so will you please go and find a place where you can stand? There can be 4 people per table. You're going to face the table, so turn, stand, facing the table. Just make sure there's enough room around you, front and back, so that you'll not be running into the people behind. There'll be a moment when you're standing here and standing there. Everybody hears me okay? Okay. Just make sure, again, that everybody has enough space around them. All right, please step back from the table a little bit. And without any particular effort, simply with your legs more or less straight, step back from the table with your legs more or less straight, not again with any effort. Just reach as if you were going to put your hands on the floor and find where you come to comfortably. So you just simply reach and you reach towards the floor with your legs, your hands more or less, and you leave yourself with a sense of where you go to, your legs more or less straight. And of course, you observe within yourself that voice that says, I should be able to go further. Anybody have that thought? Did anybody make an effort to go further? A little bit? Yeah, most of it. We take these things that are common to us. All right. So that's one of the things we'll explore is what it is that drives us to seeking meaning in what we can produce. All right. Please come to the table. Leave yourself with a sense of where you came too easily. Please come. And place your hands on the table in such a way that your arms come under your shoulders. So you place your hands on the table so that your arms come under your shoulders. Slightly, please bend your knees, just slightly. And listen. Bring your attention to. Listen to, on which foot do you have more weight? And tune your attention on the foot that you have more weight on. Is there more weight on the inside of your foot or the outside of your foot? And is there a difference in the pattern of pressure that you have with your foot that you have more weight on than the pattern of pressure that you experience with your other foot? Which foot has more weight in the heel? Which foot has more weight on the inner side? Which foot has more weight on the outer side? That's enough. Leave it and rest. You can sit if you want to. Take a moment. You can sit, you can stop, you can rest at any point in time. These ability to make distinctions is the greatest capacity that we have in our forebrain. It's because we can make these distinctions that we can begin to enter into the world of novelty and curiosity and imagination. And it's because of these ability to make distinctions that we can actually begin to refine how we function. Yeah, this is crucial to this work, is this innate capacity with the forebrain to make distinctions. So please come back. Come back. Again, bring yourself so that your arms rest under your shoulders. Your legs are more or less under your pelvis. You sense the weight now of your hands on the table. And which hand is it that you rely on more? If you were to lift one, which one would be easier to lift? Which hand would be easier to lift? And the pressure on your palms. Again, you notice if there's a difference in the way that you have pressure on the palms of your hands. Which palm do you have pressure more to the outside, and which palm do you have more pressure to the inside? Is it evenly distributed, or is there a slight difference from one side to the other? Which hand would be easier to lift? Which foot would be easier to lift? Now, very gently, please, begin to lengthen your legs. So your knees are slightly bent, and then you lengthen them. And as you lengthen them, you find within yourself which leg lengthens first. As you begin this movement, you listen, which leg lengthens first? So that you can notice the unfolding of your leg. And notice the support that this gives, the movement that this gives into your hip joints. And so you notice, as you make this movement, how it is that your leg begins to unfold and the way that this lifts into your pelvis. And now please make the movement so the other leg unfolds first. And notice within yourself, first and foremost, what did you do to stop the movement of the first leg? How did you inhibit? And how did you make a choice? So please make the movement, one leg and then the other leg. Alternate. Alternate as you make the movement. One leg unfolds first, and then the other leg unfolds first. Leave it and rest. Leave it and rest. Rest at any point, in any moment. You're welcome to sit or to lie or to do whatever you need. It's always a blessing to have this moment of reflection, this moment of listening. To me, the most important distinction is that when I asked you to engage or to elicit the movement in the other leg, that you knew how to inhibit the movement. Inhibit the first movement. Yeah? Ours is a brain that works through excitation and inhibition. But our greatest capacity is to inhibit. Please come back. Please come back. Are you Sylvia? Come back and bend your knees, please. Slightly fold your knees. Bring your hands to the table. And please continue to unfold your leg a number of times until you, within yourself, make the movement a little bit more similar. That your right leg and your left leg slowly and gently begin to become a little more similar within your own experience. And you notice as you make the movement a little more similar, it means that you listen to the way your knee unfolds. You listen to the way that this movement comes to rest in your hip joint with the sense of support. And you watch as you make the movement, how the pressure of your feet on the floor changes. In what direction do you find the movement? As you unfold, does the movement go from your forefoot to your heel or from your heel to your forefoot? And as it goes, as you unfold, does the weight move towards the inner part of your foot or to the outer part of your foot? So you continue to unfold, but as you unfold and as you make the movement more similar, you continue to listen to how it is that this movement, this way that you find the support from the ground, becomes more and more familiar. And so again, make the movement a number of times, and then again, stop when you're ready to stop. Rest when you need. As long as it's still something curious or something within you that you can find interest in. You can come and go. And as you're making this movement of unfolding your legs, what happens to the pressure of your hands on the table? Does it increase or decrease? Leave it and rest for a moment. Leave it and rest. Anybody notice a change in their posture or the way that they're sitting? Maybe yes, maybe no. Is something happening? What do you imagine could be happening as you're making this movement of unfolding? Come again, please. Come back to the table. Please place your hands again on the table. And unfold your legs. And as you unfold your legs, what is the earliest moment that you can detect the shape that your lower back makes? In what direction does your lower back move as you unfold your legs? Where your sacrum joins, where your pelvis joins your spine. How early can you detect that as you make this movement, In what direction will your sacrum move? In what direction will your lower back move? Does your lower back round upwards and backwards toward the ceiling? Or does it move forwards? So whatever it is that you find yourself doing, please make it the opposite for a moment. That if you find yourself rounding your back toward the ceiling, make it as if you had a tail, if you're sacrum and you had a tail, that as you make the movement and as you unfold your legs, you lift your tail. And of course, as you lift your tail, you can sense whether there's some way. Does your tail want to wiggle more to the right or to the left? Do you find a sort of a even distribution within yourself, a clear sense of lifting? Or is there a subtle way in which your back wants to turn a little more towards one side than the other? Make the movement, unfold, and as you unfold, tilt your tail a little bit to the right and come back, and a little bit to the left, and gradually make this so that as your legs unfold and deep within your hip joints, evenness becomes more clear, that you also find how to make this movement in such a way that your tail lifts, in your own experience, more and more within what you perceive as your own midline. Leave it again and rest, please. Sit for a few moments. Please come back again. So make it once so that you alternate it, so that as you lengthen your legs, you lift your tail one time with your back rounding upward, and then one time with your spine flattening, as if to lift your tail. And when you make this movement of flattening, as you make this movement of flattening, you unfold your legs and you lift your tail, and you have the sense of flattening your lower back and somehow moving your abdomen forward. What's the earliest moment you can detect what your head wants to do? What's the relationship between what's taking place with your sit bones and this sense of a tail and what you experience where your head joins your spine? And so that you notice that as you make this movement of unfolding your legs and lifting your tail, you notice in what direction does your head move? Does it want to lift, or does it also fall? Or does it fall? It doesn't also fall. Please make the movement in such a way that as you lift your tail, you have a sense that you lift your head as if you had eyes in the back of your head, so that you could see your tail lifting. So you unfold your legs, and as you unfold your legs, you lift your tail and you lift your head. Leave it again and rest, please. Please come back. Place your hands again on the table. Unfold yourself. And again, please make the movement of unfolding your legs, lifting your tail, lifting your head. But this time, as you unfold yourself, and as you lift your tail, and as you lift your head, please drop your abdomen to the floor. Whatever extra sense of tone or tension that you might have in the way of pulling your abdomen up and in, find a way to have your abdomen fall almost as if it's falling between your legs. In whatever way it is that you can, so that you lift, you lengthen your legs, you lift your tail, and you help this with the sense that your abdomen falls to the floor, falls between your legs. And then please draw your abdomen up and in, and as you draw your abdomen up and in, fold your legs, lower your tail, and round your head. And so that you make this movement a number of times of changing, so that as you lengthen your legs, you lift your tail, you lift your head, and drop your abdomen. And then you draw your abdomen up and in, back toward your spine. And as you draw your abdomen back toward your spine, you round your legs, you fold your legs, round your tail, and round your head. And make this movement a number of times. Observing again the distribution of weight in your feet and in your hands. Leave it, please, and rest again for a moment. Please, once again, come back. Continue with these distinctions, this unfolding of your legs, lifting your tail, lifting your head, and dropping your abdomen, and then folding your legs, rounding your tail under, drawing your abdomen up and in as you drop your head. And as you make this movement, please begin to observe in what direction do your eyes move? How are your eyes a part of this movement? And just for a moment, please, make this movement in such that your eyes move in the direction that your head is moving. And again, make a distinction. Which eye are you attending to? So you keep this movement going, this unfolding, lifting your tail, lifting your head, dropping your abdomen. But one time you make it so that your right eye goes in the direction of your head, and one time your left eye in the direction of your head. So that you can sense that somehow each time you make this distinction with your eye, it alters slightly your internal sense of where your midline is. And gradually make it so that both eyes, you sense both eyes somehow engaged together. And after a couple of movements, make it so that your eyes move opposite the direction that your head moves. So that as your head rounds down, your eyes move up. As your head moves up, you look down into your cheeks. And you sense within yourself the smoothness or the so that as your head looks up, your eyes look down. And as your head looks down, your eyes look up. But you're still continually unfolding your legs, lifting your tail, dropping your abdomen. And now please leave all that and move your eyes back in the direction that your head moves. Once or twice, and make the whole movement. Simply make the whole movement. Your head and eyes coordinated, your pelvis and tail, your feet, your knees, everything with a sense of coordination. And then leave it in rest. Please step back away from the table and see where you move to now with your legs more or less straight. See where the floor is now. And notice for yourself if you find a difference. Does anybody find the floor becoming a little closer to their hands? Perhaps. Now, please take a moment with the people at your table and discuss, how did this lesson work? What are the components in this lesson? And to the best of your ability, how did this lesson work? And it's just fine if there are practitioners with students and students with practitioners.